Hi everyone, welcome back again to Politics Today with yours truly, number one interpreter for everybody. Um, I've been largely silent recently because there's a lot going on and it just boggles my mind, and I don't even know where to start analyzing things going on in that nation called Nigeria. But we're gonna start somewhere. So let's start the first one from this clip from Arise News. Very interesting piece from Arise News. You guys know, I'll just premise this right now. You guys know this story, this saga about fuel subsidy removal, and I've always been of the opinion that this has nothing to do with this government. It's just the recklessness and rascality that we've seen that is just mind-boggling. But this removal has nothing to do with their government, and because of the way our people behave, because of the selective amnesia, or maybe the penchant for just forgetting history or what happened recently, they just move on to the next government and they start pandering to them, and this is why we are where we are today, right? Let me just play this clip and then we'll come back and talk about it. Let's listen to Ruben Abati. All right, Dr. Abati, go ahead and talk to us.
The provision in the 2023 Appropriation Act of about 3.3 trillion will not go beyond June 30. So even if he said fuel subsidy is gone, then he wasn't saying anything really extraordinary.
All right, I'm gonna
What
stop you here
people
because this is glitchy, but I'll just stop it there. So even if they say that fuel subsidy is gone, they are not saying anything extraordinary. And this is so true. They are not saying anything new because the previous administration already said that the subsidy is ending end of June, June 30th, 2023. The 3.3 trillion that they put in the 2023 appropriation bill or budget covers subsidy till the end of this month. So the Nigerian people still had 4 more days to enjoy subsidy. But this government took that away from them by the unguarded utterance. And I'm calling it unguarded not because I just want to say those words, but I want you to listen to what um, Rufai said. Let's get back to that clip and listen to what Rufai said about this. I'm just going to take you quickly to that. It just blows my mind how these people treat their own people. So let's get to that comment by Rufai. I think it's around somewhere here. Let's get to Rufai. Yeah, let's listen to Rufai here. Let's listen to Rufai.
There to say that he reneged against his aides and he decided to announce subsidy is gone. Mr. President, you don't know the hardship you caused a lot of people by not listening to your aide. You have no idea the pain a lot of people have been plunged in.
Okay, I'll stop it here. So the aides of this president said to him, "Don't mention anything about subsidy. Leave it alone." The nation is like they are sitting on a keg of gunpowder, waiting for a matchstick to be struck, and you went and struck that matchstick. Don't mention anything about it. You know the people. You have been around at least 70 years. If we take your football age, at least you've been around for 70 years. You know how these people behave. You know how they take advantage of any and every situation. Why make that utterance? Subsidy is gone, blah blah blah. And when you made it, you didn't make sure that they kept the price the same, at least for the period that the previous administration had claimed that subsidy has been paid for. In other words, somebody would have carted away with the money. Even if they are being owed for that amount, it's still something that would have been in a promissory note or somewhere that they're going to be paid. Why put that kind of hardship on the people? This my mind cannot wrap around. Okay, I'm gonna go back and I show you the implication of this because you guys know that the moment that was announced, fuel prices increased. Pump price went from 189 in some places or 195 in some places. So let's just say on average nobody paid more than 200 naira per liter. Now nobody pays less than 400 naira per liter. In many southwest states, it's 480 or thereabout, and low 500s. But the rest of the states of the nation, nobody pays less than 500 naira per liter. This is not fair. This is not fair on the guy who gets 30,000 a month. That's not fair to them. And if they're a couple and they each get 30,000 a month, that's 60,000. That means even the scholarship that announced for students, these parents will not partake in that. They will not scholarship, but loan scheme or something like that. They cannot even benefit from it because you have to make an average of 41,600 or less in a household. In the entire household has to make less than 41,600 to qualify for that. So really, you just throwing hardship on the people, and you know the resultant effect. You know, in Nigeria, house prices, house rent will increase, building material costs will increase, food prices will increase, everything just increases, and these guys are still managing 30,000 naira per month. If you are gonna do that, why don't you just follow due process? Why don't you just try to put cushion the effect before you cause the harm? People say, oh, they're gonna release some palliatives, and Labour Congress had a meeting and they said, oh, they're going to release some money for palliatives and all that. You guys know these guys. When they gave them money for COVID, during COVID time, to give palliatives to the people, they hid the resources. They hid the food items given to them to give to the people that they manage, that they govern. Give these food items to your people, and they hid it. They hit it. And anytime I remember that, and I remember Governor Ayade, I feel like crying for him because I saw him on TV crying. I know some people, some individuals were raising money, contributing. I know people from my village were contributing money to give palliatives to the poor. But you see, these politicians, not their own money, but money is given to them by other people to give to their own people, the people they claim that they represent. They hate this, and some of them wanted to use it to do their birthday presents. That is not fair. And these are the people that are supposed to be leading us.
I know it's courage, but courage without planning is dangerous.
All right.
Because it plunges people into untold hardship and the economy has not recovered from it.
All
I don't
right.
think it's right to have been able to say that. I think it should have been thought through. Not now thinking of a
Okay.
palliative after it's been done. Even
Okay. I think
as everybody criticized Jonathan and said Jonathan was terrible and all of that, Jonathan still planned for palliative.
I need to get what's his name, Rufai, to pause. Rufai was just going at it. So let's just what now. I'm gonna show you the salaries of some Nigerians, and this will just melt your heart, even if it's heart of stone. Nigerians are struggling. Even some states are struggling to pay minimum wage 30,000. Some states are struggling to pay 30,000. And I see what this revenue what's their called, fiscal commission, revenue, what's their full name, revenue mobilization allocation and fiscal commission. Look at what they said on, I think, paragraph 12 of this article. They say although some states are still struggling to pay 30,000 minimum wage, Shehu stated that it was not the job of the revenue mobilization allocation and fiscal commission to agitate for a living wage for workers. Let it be my job then. Let me plead with the government of Nigeria to please listen to the plight of Nigerians and increase their minimum wage to a living wage. I heard someone say that these guys are receiving take-home salary that cannot take them home. How do you pay your house rent from 30,000 a month? How do you pay for a bag of rice from 30,000 a month? How do you pay for transportation? How do you send your kids to school? God forbid you get sick. How do you buy clothes from 30,000 a month? The whole month. That's like 1,000 a month. Think about it. 1,000 a month. During the campaign, P2B talked about buying a loaf of bread for about 1,000 naira. So if you don't take transportation, you don't pay house rent, and you just buy a loaf of bread for 8,000. If you're four in your family, you just find a way to eat that, and that's all you eat for that day. And you don't drink water, just eat that, or maybe get free water. This is how people are living. This is not fair. This is not fair. This is not for me, but this is not fair for everybody else, for everybody, including me, of course. But this, I'm not just talking about me, I'm talking about everybody else. People are going through untold hardship in that nation, right? Look at this. Now, the cost of rice in Nigeria is around 40,000 or thereabout per bag. 40,000 per bag. And I just checked this online, the cost of rice in Nigeria in May 2023, and I found out that in some countries they even pay more per kilo. So when you look at this, um, USD per kilogram, right? So the cost of rice in USD per kilogram. All right. So I looked at this and I saw Serbia was top on the list. Russia was also somewhere there. Then I scrolled down and looked for Nigeria. Nigeria and Canada and Cameroon and Ghana, they are about in the same ballpark. And I was like, oh, if you look at this, you might think, well, we're in a good ballpark. The low end is about 0.65, something like that, 0.65 Paraguay, and then the high end Serbia 4.74. You can say, well, they are paying more than us per kilo. And it is true, they are paying more than us per kilo. And then I thought the same, until I went and did a little bit of research. And I said, how much is the minimum wage in Nigeria? Everybody knows that minimum wage in Nigeria, what it is, right? So the minimum wage in Nigeria, as we already know, is 30,000. So 30,000 a month, minimum wage. What is the minimum wage in Serbia? Let's look at it. Minimum wage in Serbia is about 336 dollars per month. That's the average, right? That's the average. The lowest is about 35,500 RSD, which is about 336 per month. This is per month, 336. Now, if it doesn't blow your mind yet, let's do the conversion. So we're just gonna go to official rate. So we're gonna go to axie.com and look at it. $336 per month is about 260,000 naira. 261,000 naira per month. That's what these guys make. So when you ask them to pay $4 or $5, then you can understand that it will be easy for them to pay, because $5 won't be much more. So let's just check right away. If I'm from Serbia and I'm paying $5 will be about 3,000. 3,000, or say 4,000. And that's per kilo. So if I get um so these guys are paying 4,000 and they are making 200, and so let's just multiply that. Let's just say 5,000 naira, um 5,000 naira, and you if you get in, let's say 50 kilos, so 250,000. So this is almost, um well, no Nigerian can even price it in this country, but this is what it is, right? 250,000. That's still a lot, to be frank. That's a lot. But when you look at how much they're making per month, each one is making about 260,000. Nigerians are making 30,000. They don't even have enough to buy a bag of rice. That is so poor. That's not a good way to treat people that you were elected to lead. And now remember, I showed you that Nigeria and Canada are in the same ballpark. Canada is about 228. Now, when you look at what Canada is making, minimum wage per month is around 16 dollars per hour. Sorry, not per month, but per hour. 16.65 per hour. 16.65 per hour. So for every 10 hours, they make 160. 40 hours. Think about how much they're gonna make. So let's check that. Let's check that. 16.65 multiplied by 40 hours per week. So this is how much they make per week. Multiply that by 4. That's how much they make a month, 2,600. So some people will say, well, they pay, if we remove the subsidy, they pay so much in other countries. Yes, they pay so much because they pay them so much as well. And the laborer deserves their wage. When someone has worked for the month, the problem with Nigeria is that they will owe you. Some places, they won't even pay you for 6 months, for 12 months, for 2 years. They won't pay you. For 8 months, they won't pay you. Some lecturers, they won't pay them for 8 months. And when they call off the strike, they will go and rig election for these same politicians. Don't you guys have conscience? Don't you guys have conscience? Has your conscience been so seared that you don't have the fear of God? Or even posterity. Don't you guys think about posterity? All these thieves that have been stealing the nations blind, can you look at their lineage and their family and see where they ended? If all you're doing is just to benefit yourself now, and you're stealing from others, and that's all you're doing, you're no different from Anene, Sunday Osumbo, and the rest of them, the thieves. So you're just a thief, just like the rest of them. You're just a thief. I'm appealing to your conscience. Think about the people you elected to lead, the guys you go and sit by to eat corn during campaigns. The guys you go to the churches and mosques and wave at them during campaigns. The guys that you wave at the motor parks during campaigns. These are the people that you're supposed to lead. Are you trying to lead them to their graves or what? When you hear, I heard that they try to increase the salaries of elected, or should I say selected officials, by 114%. These guys are already making a killing. They are making a lot of money. They're not making anything less than a million per month on their own as salaries. Then you add the perks and other things, add the constituency allowance. I don't know what they do in the, excuse me, I don't know what they do in their constituencies, to be frank, because it's not evident. If it is evident, the roads will not be dilapidated as they are. If it is evident, criminals will not be on the rampage everywhere. Some states are being sacked by criminals, by people that this government come out and say, or the previous government will come out and say they are not Nigerians, and yet they can't even take them out. They can't even defend the sovereignty of their nation. They can't even defend the people they claim to lead. What is wrong? Really, really, I'm torn apart. I'm broken because I don't understand why you were supposed to lead people. Are you there to lead the dead? Why can't you defend them? You claim these guys are strangers. They are not people of the land that you're supposed to protect. Because your number one job as the chief executive is to protect the lives and property of the people you are saddled with the responsibility to lead. If you can't do that, then just get out of the way. Why you guys fight tooth and nail, stealing and snatching and running away with it, and then when you have it, you can't even use it. You can't even protect the people. You can't even fight for them. Now you guys are fighting to increase your salaries by 114%. But you don't want to, and you guys are making millions a month. And then you add the newspaper allowance, sitting allowance, break allowance, car allowance, all the allowances you guys take every month. Don't you guys have the fear of God? And then you will not even think about the poor. 30,000 a month. 30,000. Nigerians were making around 18,000 a month in 1970 something as a minimum wage. Nigerians were making a whole lot more money back then as minimum wage, and after all these years, they were making, yeah, look at it here. In 1970, Nigeria were making 18 naira. 18 naira. 18 naira then was equivalent to $25. $25 now is around what do you call it? Maybe like 18,000 or 19,000 naira. They were making back in 1970 $25. And today they are making only $39 per month. So they only got an increase of about $14 from 1970 to 2023. Increase of $14 per month. $25 a month then. Now $39, which is like 2 hours pay in Canada. 2 hours or 3 hours pay in Canada. 3 hours pay in Canada. So for people in Canada and US, they work for 3 hours and they will make enough money for somebody who has worked for 30 days in Nigeria. Electricity tariff is increasing by 40%. People are suffering, people are dying. There's no hospital, no good roads, no good schools, except for the super rich, for the super wealthy, but no good schools for the regular people to attend. And these guys who are supposed to lead them are just leading them to their graves. One day you guys will wake up and there will be nobody else to lead, nobody else to lynch, and nobody else to eat up except yourselves. And that's why Nigerians are living in droves. I was looking at a posting on social media where many countries have their strikers are off from Nigeria, football strikers from Nigeria, England, Denmark, all over the world, Germany. They have many Nigerians playing for them because people are jackpying in their numbers. And you guys are doing nothing to reverse the drain, to make it a sakba, as NOI said. You guys are just driving the people away all the time. Don't you guys have the fear of God? I'm really broken, thinking about this. And when I see the youth or even everyday people praising these politicians that have stolen us dry, they're not even challenging them or calling them to order or pointing out where they're going wrong. It breaks my heart a lot in so many places. Is it that we are struck with this Stockholm syndrome? Is that the case? Why is it that we can't see? And many of us, especially the ones that are bigots, that tribal bigots, that will tell you go back to where you come from. But when they leave the shores of that nation to the West, to Europe or to America, they will try to stamp their feet and claim their rights. But when they go to their own home, to their own backyard, someone who can't even clean your shoes if things were on level playing field, they will be telling you to go back. Go back to where? What do you tell the person whose mother is from your village and just that his father is from another place, or his father is from your village and his mother is from another place? What is wrong with you people? And then you fight and kill yourselves for these politicians. But have you seen them after the elections? They will conglomerate together, they will have parties together, they will chat together, have handshakes, call themselves nicknames. But during another election campaign, they will instigate you against your brother. You will kill, you will attack, you will maim, you will steal from your brother to give to these guys whose children are all abroad, whose children are not part of what you are doing, because their children are their heirs. They are not part of what you're doing, but they are heirs of their parents. Their wives and their children or their husbands, if it's the woman involved, they are all in safe zones. But you, as poor as you are, as wretched as you are, both in mental reasoning and financial capacity, you are poor, you are wretched, you are broke. They use you, they give you 5,000 naira or 1,000 naira, or they even give you a promise of money, which they will not give to you, and then they will use you. What is wrong with you? And I want to say, because I just want to use this to just talk, I'm not timing this. If you see it and you watch whatever you want to watch, that's okay. I just want to talk to my brother, Asari Dokubo, because I wanted to address him for a long time, but I was just like, let me just leave him. He's giving the comedian some content and all that. But I think it comes to a point where you have to say, you sit down and take stock and count and see and realize that anytime you sell your brother to a stranger, that stranger will always put you in a special, special, special place. The same place they put Judas Iscariot. That stranger will put you in that special place. I'll tell you a little bit about Judas Iscariot. The reason it was when they said to Judas, go and whatever you want to do, do it now, it wasn't because they hated Judas. It wasn't because they wanted Judas to do it anyways. No, it was because he has qualified himself to be that guy. He was the keeper of the money. He was the treasurer and the financial secretary of that group of 13 men and a few women. He was the one that keeps their money. There were four women, Susan, Mary, and another lady, Chloe or so. Four of them were two Marys, one Susan, and one Chloe. They were together with those 13 men. So about 17 of them were together. And some of these women, Susan especially, the wife of financial secretary to Herod, they were rich folks among them. And when they bring their resources to sustain the ministry of Jesus, they will give it to Judas to keep for the group, and he used to pinch the money. So he was a thief. He has exposed himself to evil, and they knew. So when it was time, they knew he was the one that was going to do that. It wasn't just because somebody picked him and said he fulfilled what it requires to do that, and they looked at him like that. And then when he died, the money that he got from his underhanded business was used to purchase a piece of field that is called today the land of blood, the field of blood. I'm saying this to say, when you sell your brother, even the money you think you make from it, if they use it to purchase a land, it will be the field of blood. While you sell out your people, the people you're selling your brothers to, they'll put you in a special place. They will do to you what they did to Ken Sarawiwa and every other person that betrayed their own brothers. And like Ojuku said to Sarawiwa in those days, Okokoroko, that crow will sound to everyone who betrayed their brother. That same cry, that same crow, that the crow when Peter betrayed his master 3 times, that same crow will cry for everyone who betrays their brother. One day you are pro Biafra, another day you are anti Biafra. One day you are pro IPOB, another day you are anti IPOB. Stand in one place. And if your philosophy evolves or changes, let us see how it evolved and changed. Stop attacking people, whether you are pro Oduduwa, anti Oduduwa, pro Biafra, anti Biafra, pro Ariwa, anti Ariwa. Stand in one place. And if your evolution is changing over time, let us see how it evolves. Stop attacking people unnecessarily. Not everybody will agree on the same subject. But many people, many of us, especially me, myself, I'm not agitating for any segregation or separation or secession or whatever. I'm agitating for fairness. Like right now, I'm calling for the minimum wage to be improved for the minimum wage workers. This is my agitation right now. I'm not about where the state or the tribe. No, I am about the Nigerian people. But there are other people who do not see it the way I see it. There are others who think that they want to address it in a particular way, and they have that prerogative. They can make their case. From primary school, primary five, I was representing my school in debate, and I had friends who were on opposing sides. And we are friends. We played soccer together. We played together. But we had different views. And we argued them passionately on radio. And you sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. But this is what it is. You can keep your views and still keep your personality and keep your friends. So if you don't like my position, that doesn't mean you should attack me as a person. You can bring a superior argument. Maybe you can buy me over. This idea that once someone doesn't agree with you, he's your enemy and you have to kill them and sell them, that is from the pit of hell. And you need your head examined. I'm not calling for your arrest or anything, but I just think that you need mercy and people need to pray for you. And people that know you, that love you, can call you to order, should call you to order and say, brother, come back from where you're headed. All right, let's summarize this and just go back to the beginning. We talked about fuel subsidy removal. It was reckless the way it was announced because there was nothing new, according to Dr. Ruben Abati. There was nothing new that was announced. It was already announced. It was in the 2023 appropriation bill that this is going to last until June of 2023, June 30th. So the people have been such changed from May 29th when this was announced and May 30th when it took effect. The people were charged so far 26 days. I don't know when you're going to be seeing it, maybe 27 days. And then for the remaining 3 days, of course, nothing will be done. They couldn't hold the petroleum marketers, you know, to order or they couldn't hold them accountable. And then NNPC to show you that this was orchestrated and planned, they came out and said we're releasing the prices or the pump prices. Well, you're releasing the pump prices. You were paid subsidy until the end of the month. If they didn't pay you, say they didn't pay you because it was in the bill. And then the house will give you the money. But what will happen now is that 3.3 trillion, whichever portion that falls onto a month, will be shared among the cabals, among the few people that run that nation. In the words of Asari the Kubo, our mood know too much. Isn't this stupidity just so stark naked? Isn't it so much? Isn't it too much? Why are we treating ourselves like this? If you guys will be smiling to the banks, and also I blame the West partly because they allow you guys to bring your money from there and just store in their countries. Because if you keep it in that country and the value is falling rapidly as it is falling, you would do something to keep it. You would do something to make sure it doesn't fall the way it is falling. You see some people bringing trailer loads of money of cash that they stashed they wouldn't give to the poor, and they are decaying in the places they were stored. Don't you guys have the fear of God? Overall, don't you guys have the fear of God? Don't you? And you're supposed to lead the people. You're supposed to be a governor, a president, a senator, a House of Rep member, a House of Assembly member. You're supposed to represent your people. Are you supposed to represent the living or the dead? I told myself when the time is right, I'll speak. I will talk to anybody I can talk to make sure that that country is run right. It is not good that the people are living in perpetual fear. You can't even move around in some places in the nation. It used to be, just restricted to the north east, but now it's all over the nation. You can't fly, you can't go on the road, you can't go by train. What did we do? What did we do, especially to offend the ruling class? Look at Dubai, where you guys run to send your friends and acquaintances and yourselves to. Look at Dubai. They have none of the natural resources that you guys have. You have none of them. You guys have a lot. There's a lot on the ground for us. A lot hidden beneath the earth for us. Gold, call them. All kinds of natural minerals, call them. Even uranium. A lot of minerals are there in that nation that country has no business being poor. No business. But for some reason, you find a way to be the capital, the poverty capital of the world. They say that the West did this to you, the West did that. Can't you stand on your feet and say enough is enough? I'll tell you a story. There was a man who was, um, how do I say, led by his stomach. He couldn't go without eating. And then one day his father wanted to bless him. And his father says, give me a good meal. I need pepper soup. I want to eat pepper soup and then I'll bless you. I'll give you my blessings. He went out to hunt for the pepper soup and the mother heard it. The mother knew that this one, you can trick him with anything. You can give him something he will trade important things to you. So the mother called her younger son. They were twins, but he called the younger one and said, hey, go make pepper soup. The guy said, I don't know how to make pepper soup. He said, okay, go get me the meat. I'll get me the animal. I'll do the pepper soup for you. He gets the animal. The mom makes the pepper soup for him and says, go present to your father. Say that you've brought the pepper soup. And the boy says, Mom, my voice and my brother's voice don't sound the same, and my brother has hair. I don't have hair. And the mom says, okay, put on the skin of the animal on you, and then you put on his clothes so you smell like him, you feel like him. Let's deal with only the voice. He comes in and said, Dad, the meat is ready. And the dad said, you came back so fast. He said, yeah, I was so fast. I was favored today. I got the animal quickly. And the dad says, you sound like your brother. Come closer. He came closer. The dad felt him and felt the hair, and he felt like the hair of the one that was still in the field. He smelt him because he was trying to prove that he was the right son. He smelt him and he said, you smell? Yeah, yeah, it is you. But what happened to your voice? And the boy craftily said, well, I was shouting, because of the hunting, and I lost my voice. Anyways, the dad ate the food and blessed him. He blessed him and says, the blessings of your father will be upon you and blah, blah, blah. Shortly after eating and blessing him, the son that was actually out to get that came back, and he prepared his food and brought it to his dad. And his dad said, I just finished blessing your brother. And he cried. He cried. He said, he has taken my rights this time around. This one is, I won't let this go. And he said, but dad, please bless me. The father said, there's no more blessing. I'm sure you know this story, his son Jacob. Esau cried, and the dad said, nothing, nothing I can do for you. You will serve your brother forever. In fact, you will live from hand to mouth. You will live with a sword. The reason I'm telling this story was that the father said something that everybody needs to listen to when you're struggling, when you are down. I've said this to myself severally, and I said it only to myself secretly. And a few people have said it, so now I'm going to say it publicly because this is going on the internet. I don't know who's going to hear it. The father said to him, until you grow restless, you remain where you are. I've used this to encourage myself severally. Whenever I am down, whenever I'm in a place and it is not desirable for me, I grow restless. I say enough is enough. I can't stay down this way. This is not me. This is not happening. I grow and I push. And I'm saying this to say, Nigerians, instead of us staying there and complaining that our leaders or the West this or West that, you can say to yourself, enough is enough. We sold our birthrights, all right. Think about this. In 1970, 18 naira was $25. Do you know what that means? It means that our money at that time was greater than the USD. You will give somebody 18 naira, they will give you $25. Think about it. Today, $1 is almost 1,000. Think about it. $1 is almost one. So this money now is almost 20,000. Let's convert it to today's rate. I think it's 700 and something. So today, if somebody gave you $25, $25. If you multiply it by the rate they're going by now, let's say 780. That's 19,500. This was our 18 naira in 1970, just a few decades ago. We can grow restless and say enough is enough. You guys say, oh, the West, this, the West. Weren't they called the West in 1970? I haven't heard, someone told me that even sometime earlier, it used to be 1 naira to $2, which means that 50 kobo was equivalent to $1 then. Can you imagine that? Weren't they the West then? You can grow restless. In the same 70s, China was poor. In the 70s, China was poor. And now China is rubbing shoulders with the strongest and most powerful in the world. China is rubbing shoulders with the US and with Russia, with all the powerful nations on the earth. In fact, they're even one of the veto powers, the five veto powers. But in the 70s, when your money was greater than the USD, they were poor. So don't think it is impossible. Look at Dubai. Dubai rose in the 80s. Nigeria was better than Dubai. Look at Dubai today. What's wrong with us? Singapore was poor. Yeah, Singapore poor. Yeah, it was Singapore was poor too. Look at Singapore now. South Korea, they were poor. Now they're king of electronics. South Korea. I know this. I'm just giving you my regurgitations today, but I think enough is enough. We can grow restless. We can say enough is enough in your own little corners. Grow restless. Say we can do better. When politicians come to give you 5,000 naira, tell them perish with your money and vote your conscience and stand up and let your vote be counted. And when they tell you go to court, and when you show up in the court, they will say, "Oh, why are you in court? Well, let's take this offline." I'm going to make other videos. Now, these are just my regurgitations because I see people that are so pathetic. They're telling people to pull their cases off the courts and go home. Let's just move together and form government of national unity. What is that? This is akin to someone snatch your vehicle and tell you don't report to the police. Go and report to the police. When you report to the police and it goes to court, they will tell you, you know what, just withdraw your case. I'll give you a ride. This is what it is like. I'll give you a ride. Or the community said we're gonna build a house and then we're gonna vote on who we're gonna give the house to. And the community voted. And before they announced who the owner is, a few people went and bribed the community leader who was supposed to give out the house, and then they give it to them. And when you ask them, give us evidence, let us see how the people voted, who they wanted to take the house. They say go to court. You go to court and they tell you withdraw the case from the court. Let's just you can sleep in the living room. You can sleep in the guest room. That's not the point. The point is that the impunity is too much. That's what we're fighting against. It's not about who was declared. It is the process of declaring somebody. But many of you don't get it. I don't even know what's wrong with you people. Nobody's against who won. It doesn't matter who won. At this stage, it doesn't matter who won. What matters is the process that the person won or the person was declared, because you can be called a winner if the umpire cannot tell us how you won. And we have a constitution that says this is how you will win. And if there's a dispute that process was not followed, that constitution was not followed, all you need to do is to interpret it and declare it to the people and show evidence that this person actually won. You don't just say dismiss it, because this will never end. What you're saying is that tomorrow your children, when something that they believe is rightfully theirs, if somebody takes it, they should just leave it. That's what you're saying. You're saying that in your office, if you think you are due a promotion and someone takes it, you should just keep quiet. Don't even complain. Don't say anything. Just keep quiet. If someone comes and says, "Oh, I'm taking your position," you just leave the office and leave it for them. None of you will do what you're saying. But I don't think you guys think it through. I think you guys just think because you're going to gain from the system, let it just be this way. The whole world is laughing at you. You can't even show how somebody won. And you're telling the person challenging the rascality to just withdraw the case. Are you normal? This is the problem the country has had over time. And that's why we are here. That's why we're going backwards. You see impunity and you just leave it, and you're celebrating the people that the rascals. That is the problem, because you guys worship money or worship the rich. There's nothing excellent about whatever you're doing. There's nothing about merit. It's just about benefiting from the system. But let me even tell you, the last administration headed by APC, Buhari, was the president. His office, as the office of the incumbent, is in Aso. Most people in Aso are appointed by the ruling party. And in the last election, somebody, a newcomer, one in Aso Rock, one in the entire Abuja. That tells you that even the people that ate from the system were tired. They want something new. They want the country to be represented differently. Are you hearing that one? They are tired of the impunity. They're tired of what they hear about our country when they travel, when they go, visit the other nations. They are tired and they wanted something new. They voted against their own government. If you didn't get the implication of that one party got 69% in Abuja, 69 whole percent in Abuja. And that party was a new party, new kid in town. No other person got 20%. Say whatever you want to say about P2B, he's a phenomenon. The Oni called him the tsunami himself. He's a phenomenon. He spoke to the people. He spoke to facts. He spoke to the heart of the matter. And these people are trying to do whatever he said, but they don't know the story behind. They don't know the story behind the glory. They just want to take the glory. Oh, did he say this? Let's do it. Did he say this? Let's do this. But they don't have the background. It's just like you are writing a math exam and they say show all working, and you look across and you saw the guy wrote 2 as the final answer, but you didn't know how he arrived at it. And that's what you guys are doing. You're trying to make everything to fit, but you don't know how it was arrived at. And that is the problem. I said before the election, it is time for us to allow somebody who understands the problem to begin to attempt to solve the problem. Because what we have today is people who do not even understand the problem. You don't know what is quadratic equation, you don't know what is Laplace transform, and you're trying to force yourself into the system to solve the problem. And you don't understand the problem. You have to first of all understand the problem. Then you can begin to attempt to solve the problem. All right, I'm going to end it here. And again, like I said, today is just my regurgitations. I'm going to have time subsequently to talk about some of these things that we raise here. Like those guys like that should be ashamed of themselves calling for the cases to be withdrawn from the court. I think they should be ashamed of themselves. They should be ashamed of them. If they were paid, they should return the money. And I was saying in another forum, I was saying that if I were Tinubu, I would first of all sack, what is his name, Mahmoud Yakubu. I would sack him right away, because that guy, you know that if he took money to do what he did, he would take money from another person. Just sack him. All the people that you gave money to, all the people that played underhanded, sack them. Just reward them by sacking them. Read the system. I don't know, maybe you have good intention and you just wanted to be president, but the people didn't want you. Fine, you find a way to get there. Now that you're there, start doing the good that you can do. Because I don't know if this is gonna last. Because if I was P2B, if I were P2B, I would not allow somebody to steal what is mine. I will not. I will not allow anybody to steal what is mine. And even people threaten you with killing or whatever, I'm not one of those that is threatened by such things. I will not let you steal what is mine. And if you want somebody to die, it won't be me. If you want to die, you can die, but it won't be me. I won't let anybody steal what is mine, or at least what I believe is mine. I will fight it fairly, like he's doing in court. And if the court decides and says, oh, we're going to rule on technicality because someone that was speaking didn't raise his right hand properly, that's their business. We are all watching. We are all watching. And we will see how posterity and history will judge them and their families. But I just hear people saying, oh, Peter B should beef up security. Why should he beef up security? Other than what everyone else is already beefing up? Because the government is abysmal in taking care of their number one responsibility. All they rush is to fuel subsidy removal. They didn't hear when Peter B said we will deal with insecurity first before we remove fuel subsidy. We will deal with insecurity. Somebody please tag the president and his handlers, or the I don't know how to call it, because he's being contested, but he's been sworn in. So tag the president and his handlers and say P2B mentioned that he will end insecurity. Then he will send the people back to their farms. Then they will produce and bring product to the market, and the prices will drop. Then I'll remove subsidy. But now you have started back in reverse order. You've removed subsidy first, which you didn't remove. You just emphasized it and the people reacted. So take care of the other steps. There are other steps missing. Insecurity is still there. End it. People are still afraid of going back to their farms. Give them the confidence, let them go back. Give them time, give them supplies like fertilizer and the rest of them. Give them supplies and let them produce. Let them flood the market with these things, let the prices drop so that the people can live and have a breath of fresh air. All right, I'm going to end it here. Thanks to my people. Like, this is heavy on my heart. I wasn't as excited as I used to be when I make these videos, but I just thought I should just give you my regurgitations because I've watched, the proceedings in court and the cases brought by Atiku and Obi, and I thought there's really good hope and really good chance. Hopefully, the judiciary will do the right things. But even if they don't, we've done our best. We've voted, we've prayed, we've counted, we've gone to court, we've presented our cases. That's all we can do. We're law abiding people. We're not going to break anything. We're law abiding people. But we hope that the right thing is done once. And I say this all the time, even if you think it is your right, it is your turn, it is your Emilokon or whatever. If the people say we want to give it to somebody else, it is better that way. Because the people are the ones that chose who they want. Then if it works for them, let it work for them. If it didn't work for them, then it didn't work for them. All right, I'm gonna end it here. Again, please like, share, subscribe, comment, and say whatever you want to say. Like, I'm always for everything. Say whatever you want to say. You can criticize what I've said. It's okay. Just don't be personal. Criticize what I've said if you think it is bad. Like I told you, I can engage you in a debate if you want. We can go on a live session and have our views exchanged and let the people decide. But don't go personal. This is for whatever if you want to say something that can help move the nation forward, make Nigeria better and greater, do it. Say it. I'm all for everything positive. Until then, it's just truly number one interpreter for everybody. Until I see you again,